Pop music is full of big personalities and global superstars, but there are some seriously talented artists who still don't get the credit they deserve, even though they've made huge contributions to the genre. In this video, we look at 10 of the most underrated artists in pop music. FKA Twigs. FKA Twigs is a British singer, songwriter, and dancer who has pushed the boundaries of pop, R&B, and experimental music since her debut back in 2012. Starting as a backup dancer for artists like Jessie J and Ed Sheeran, she gained attention because of her boundary-pushing music. She's not your typical pop star. Her music blends art pop and electronic styles to create something truly unique. She made her mark in 2014 with her debut LP One, and her striking visuals set her apart from mainstream artists. The album was critically acclaimed, scoring 86 out of 100 on Metacritic. Twigs doesn't just make pop music, she makes art. In 2019, she released Magdalene, a critically acclaimed album that tackled themes of pain and healing. Her music may be too experimental for mainstream radio, but that's exactly what makes her so special. Known for her boundary-pushing visuals, the video for Cellophane is gorgeous, combining her striking dance choreography with immaculate audio design. Despite critical acclaim and innovative approach to both music and performance art, FKA Twigs remains more of a cult favorite than a mainstream pop icon. Her willingness to defy genres with her deeply personal, often experimental projects has kept her outside of the pop mainstream. However, her influence on pop and R&B is undeniable, and her artistry deserves to be recognized on a larger scale. This commercial pops into my mind from time to time. Ava Max. Ava Max exploded into the pop scene in 2018 with her breakout single Sweet But Psycho, a high-energy theatrical pop anthem that topped charts in over 20 countries. Ava grew up in a musical family of Albanian immigrants and moved to Los Angeles in her teenage years to pursue a career in music. Her debut album Heaven and Hell, released in 2020, was a celebration of infectious and larger-than-life pop anthems. Songs like Kings and Queens and Who's Laughing Now were instant earworms, showcasing her ability to craft radio-friendly feel-good hits. She brings back the over-the-top energy of the early 2000s, blending it with modern production to create a sound that feels fresh. Despite her global success, she's often seen as a bit of an underground compared to other pop stars. She has achieved commercial success, but she is still overlooked as a major pop artist. With over 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify and close to 10 billion total streams, she consistently delivers pop hits, yet she doesn't get the same attention as some of her peers. She has 6 songs with more than 500 million streams. Her ability to craft earworm after earworm shows she is a pop powerhouse, but she is still working her way into the upper echelons of pop royalty. Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue has been in the game for over 3 decades, has given us some of the most iconic pop songs of all time. The Australian singer first gained international fame in the late 1980s with hits like I Should Be So Lucky and The Locomotion. However, her career truly took off with her 2001 album Fever, featuring the global smash Can't Get You Out of My Head. Despite being a global superstar, especially in Europe and Australia, Kylie has never quite gotten the same level of recognition in the US. Even her 2020 album Disco was a masterclass in modern dance pop, proving she still got it after all these years. Kylie's career longevity is something to admire. Very few artists can continue to reinvent themselves and stay relevant across multiple decades. Padam Padam is a banger. Even though she is an absolute legend in many parts of the world, she is criminally underrated. Her longevity and ability to adapt to different musical trends deserves much more praise. Her influence on pop and dance music is undeniable, and it's about time more people recognize her as one of pop's true icons. Rina Sawayama. Rina is one of the most exciting new voices in pop. She is a Japanese-British singer-songwriter that blends genres like R&B, hyperpop, and even metal into her unique sound. Her debut album Sawayama in 2020 was an absolute knockout, with songs like XX and STFU showcasing her ability to make great music. It was one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the year, scoring 89 out of 100 on Metacritic. Rina is a true pop innovator, blending styles and genres with ease, but she is still fighting for broader recognition. Her refusal to fit into the traditional pop mold is what makes her unique, but it's also what has kept her on the fringes of mainstream pop. Given her immense talent and visionary approach to music, she deserves to be recognized as one of the most exciting voices in pop music today. She tackles everything from identity and cultural heritage to capitalism and self-worth in her music, while delivering hooks that stick with you. Rina's ability to cross genres and challenge conventions set her apart from many of today's pop artists. But yet, she's still under the radar. She currently has 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify, which is too low for me. She is paving the way for a new kind of pop star, one who isn't afraid to experiment and push boundaries, and I think that deserves more recognition. Tove Lo. Tove Lo is known for her fearless approach to pop music, often exploring themes of heartbreak and self-destruction with raw honesty. When she came out, she perfectly fit into that catchy but dark lane that The Weeknd was forging at the time. She first gained international attention with the release of her debut EP Truth Serum in 2014. The EP included the hit singles Habits, Stay High, which became a global sensation after being remixed. It became a sleeper hit, now sitting on 968 million streams on Spotify, and cemented her as a force to be reckoned with. Her 2014 debut album Queen of the Clouds was praised for being unapologetic, and she has since released several more critically acclaimed albums, including Lady Wood in 2016 and Sunshine Kitty in 2019. This year, she returned with her new EP, Heat. Tove Lo's blend of electro-pop and indie influences has earned her a devoted following, but she has yet to reach mainstream success, even though she has huge hits like Talking Body and Cool Girl. In addition to her solo work, she is a great songwriter, writing songs like Lord's Homemade Dynamite and Ellie Goulding's Love Me Like You Do. Tove Lo's willingness to tackle taboo subjects and her refusal to conform to the sanitized image often expected from pop stars may be the reason why she remains underrated in the mainstream pop world. Conan Gray. Conan Gray began his career on YouTube, where he posted vlogs and original music that quickly gained a dedicated following. His breakout moment came with the release of his debut single Idle Town in 2017, followed by the EP Sunset Season, which showcased his ability to write introspective and emotional pop songs. In 2020, he released his debut album Kid Crow. The album debuted on number 5 on the Billboard 200, featuring the hit single Heather, which is now sitting on 1.7 billion streams. The album debuted on number 5 on the Billboard 200, cementing him as a rising star in the pop world. His music, which often deals with themes of heartbreak, identity, and longing, resonates deeply with his Gen Z audience. With over 21 million monthly listeners and 7 billion total streams on Spotify, he is by no means a small artist, but he still feels underrated when compared to other mainstream pop stars. Even though Conan Gray has found success, he is still flying under the radar in some ways. His songwriting is sharp, and his fanbase is passionate, but he hasn't quite broken through to full mainstream stardom just yet. It's only a matter of time before he's dominating the charts. Jhené Aiko. Jhené Aiko is widely credited with pioneering the ethereal, dreamy sound that has become synonymous with the calming, laid-back modern pop and R&B. She began her music career in the early 2000s as a teenager, providing vocals for the R&B group B2K, after taking a hiatus to focus on her education with the release of her critically acclaimed mixtape Sailing Souls, which showcased her ability to blend introspective lyrics with soft, atmospheric melodies. But it's her 2013 mixtape Sellout that put me onto her. I still listen to that non-stop. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's a great listen. Her music became known for its meditative, almost hypnotic qualities, earning her a devoted fanbase. Her 2014 debut album Sold Out and its follow-up Trip in 2017 built on her legacy. Songs like The Worst, Sativa, and Triggered are examples of her talents for creating immersive soundscapes that blend pop, R&B, and neo-soul. In 2020, her album Chilombo earned 3 Grammy nominations and continued to build on her calming, zen-like aesthetic, cementing her influence on the new wave of pop and R&B artists. These bitches are her sons, as her peaceful, calming style has influenced a ton of today's music, yet she doesn't get the mainstream success she deserves. She is one of the most underrated legends in my opinion. Enya. Enya is a musical legend in her own right, through her ethereal new age style of pop that often leaves her out of mainstream conversations about pop music. Her music is characterized by lush, layered vocals, serene melodies, and atmospheric production. Only Time is an all-time classic.
Who can say where the road goes?
Her breakout came way back in 1988 with the release of Watermark, featuring the global hit Orinoco Flow, which topped charts in several countries. Her unique style and spiritual sound has earned her millions of devoted fans over the decades. Her 2000 album A Day Without Rain was one of the best sellers of the decade, earning 12 million units worldwide. Enya has sold over 75 million albums worldwide in her career, making her one of the best-selling artists of all time. Despite her massive commercial success, she remains a somewhat underground figure in pop music. Her reclusive persona and reluctance to tour have contributed to her underrated status. While she has sold millions of records and influenced countless artists, she is often overlooked. Her impact on the genre is undeniable, and her signature style has inspired modern artists like Lana Del Rey. She deserves more recognition as one of the most influential pop artists in modern music. Caroline Polachek. Caroline Polachek has been pushing the boundaries of pop for years, starting with her time in the indie pop band Chairlift. After going solo, she leaned into the experimental art pop sounds, delivering her 2019 album Pang, which blew critics away with its operatic vocals and unique production. Caroline is known for creating emotionally charged, experimental pop that is still somehow super catchy. Songs like So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings showcase her ability to make offbeat yet radio-friendly hits. Her 2023 album Desire I Want to Turn Into You was one of the highest rated albums of the year, scoring an astounding 94 out of 100 on Metacritic. Her experimental style makes her a fan favorite in indie and art pop circles, but she is still not a mainstream pop star. I think it's only going to take one hit from her to become a real pop star. Marina. Marina, formerly known as Marina and the Diamonds, is a Welsh singer-songwriter who has been a cult favorite in the pop world since her debut album The Family Jewels in 2010. With her theatric style and quirky persona, she quickly established herself as one of pop's most distinctive voices. Her 2012 follow-up album Electra Heart saw her exploring the concept of identity and fame, earning her a devoted fan base and chart success in the UK and Europe. Prima Donna is still an all-time classic.
Prima donna girl, yeah.
Her music often tackles themes of mental health and the pressures of modern society, set to catchy, sparkling pop melodies. Despite her loyal fan base and critical success, she has remained somewhat of an outsider in the mainstream pop world, particularly in the US. Marina has consistently delivered intelligent, thought-provoking pop music, but she remains underrated. I see a lot of her in newer stars like Olivia Rodrigo. Her ability to blend infectious pop melodies with deep, introspective lyrics sets her apart, and she deserves wider recognition for her contributions to the genre. Which underrated artists did I miss? Put me on in the comments.